Hello, darling.
I was about to say, girl, I know you was not about to play in my face and not let us see your gorgeous one.
Oh no, I gotta give it to the girls. Gotta
Yes,
show
you
love.
better. And
How
and
are
you
you,
better.
baby? First of all, let me just say, welcome, welcome, welcome back, us to us to us to us. Because when it's a me and you thing, it's always a me and two thing. Period.
Yes. It's nothing like me and you,
Me and
honey. It
you.
is nothing like us. I live for the effects. I live for the effect. What is going on? What is going on? We got locks. We got blondes and we got dark locks, honey. What is going on? We got a halter, a halter.
Hard time, yes, with our what you call it, with our waist cinched and snatched up here,
Let
sitting
me
on
see
a
you
high
see the
couch.
effect. Girl, stop playing.
Here's a little something, son. Got a little Catwoman showing. You
It's
know,
been it's been a few months since we talked, girl.
it's been, I want to say, since February. I want to say is when last time we went live.
Damn.
Um, Yes, and life has been lifing, and there's been no stone left unturned so far, and we're just like letting it exist in its space of greatness. How has it been? You first of all, you look gorgeous. Let me just say this to you: you
Thank
look so
you.
good. You are glowing. Every time I see you, you look more and more and more beautiful. How is that possible? I don't know, but it is.
They be blaming on my genes, honey. That's how all them fishy patties in my family be, honey. It seemed like they age backwards, honey. Now the
Yeah.
men pray for them.
I said pray for them. I promise you. It's giving Benjamin Button syndrome, and I love it. Well,
Thank
without the O. I feel like that was meant to be a compliment, but when I heard it, I was like, oh, that don't sound good.
Well, I
But,
never saw the Benjamin Button movie, so if it's like some type of,
well, he
like,
aged backwards. So he started out, he was like eight, he was getting younger as he got older.
and that's the
And he
only
did
tea
start
I
out like
know.
very gremlin old, like an old gremlin, like morbid bodied baby. So it
That's
just switched.
that's what I imagine. I imagine like he was like turning into fetal tissue, but like low key being like 100-year-old fetal tissue.
Very much that. Very much old, wrinkled fetal tissue.
It sounds depressing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, so I just want to tell you first of all, that life, like I said, has been good, but I'm always excited when we have our tea time because I feel like we cover so many different various things as we talk. So before we get into any of the tea, I want you to tell me what's going on with you so we can talk.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for asking, because honey, people like me, people rarely ask. I'm
That's what
always
makes
in
most
everybody else's.
considerate. How dare they?
Because I'm always in everybody else's shit, honey. Before I can answer, I'm too busy digging in what's going on with them. But thank you for asking, love. I look forward to these times because I actually get the opportunity to talk about what's going on with me. Um, I'm continuing to do the social media thing, honey. Yes. My TikTok is a paid platform. Support my TikTok, share all of the things, support my content. My YouTube is a paid platform now, and it's continuing to grow, which is really cool. I've really gotten into streaming. I was telling them this earlier before you had came on, that I really have found a love for streaming, and I feel more comfortable doing it over there because over there it's not a big a deal. I don't have to worry about my channel getting demonetized if I'm truly being my Negro self. You know what I mean? Versus over here, if
Gotta
I
be a little bit more
say
curated.
too many things. Now, mind you, I'm a black trans woman. I should be able to say all the things, the bitch, the nigga, the tranny, honey, the faggot. I should be able to say all the things, but TikTok said no, ma'am, especially not if we're gonna pay your black ass. So I've been doing that, and I've gone back to 9 to 5 work, child.
I love
I'm
that.
going back. I'm
Are you
going back to 9 to 5.
are we still doing social work?
Child, honey, we doing low key no work. Lord forgive me, honey. We're working with the Baltimore County school system, and I am just assisting. I took a very low stress job with good benefits, and I'm just assisting with special needs kids. So
I like
I'm
it though. You want to know why? Because the track that you're on is leading to bigger things, and I think your energy is being situated to be elsewhere. I did hear you say that you said that you just started your new podcast, which where you just joined onto Marsha's plate, and literally being able to use all of your platforms to accumulate income for yourself, and also just share your messages, which you do so fucking amazingly. Your energy is dispersed in the right areas. So I think that having something that you gotta do as far as like adding to your like, money is fine. And like but you're prioritizing what's important. And you're putting that as the forefront. And for that, I am so, so proud of you. And for the fact that you are still moving and grooving and shaking and shining. And it's like, it just don't stop. It don't stop. And I like that. That's how you gotta go. You gotta be so fucking hungry that you almost be like, bitch, the train don't stop. You gotta run while it's going.
I
Period.
love it. I love it for you too. I love it for you too. And before, I detract from myself as I purposefully always do.
As the
Um
Virgo you are.
I do like it. I do like it. I'm definitely still in that stage of development. It's definitely still hard. It's definitely still struggle. I've been trying to avoid being one of those entertainer, artists, activists who had to have, a 9 to 5 job, but it has happened and it is what it is. But yeah, I see you are still doing your thing. I see that you are still moving and shaking and busting it down and busting it back up.
That's no
What has
sound.
been going on with you?
Okay, so there's been like a multitude of things. There's actually been like a couple moving parts that has happened over the past like several months. So earlier this year, for the past year and a half, I was working as a director, or a board of directors for Gender Justice, which is an operation here in Nevada. It's an organization that centers around allowing to bring more enlightenment, more justice and education through the justice system, or getting people connected to trans healthcare, getting connected to resources that gives them name changes, or also helping to advocate for those who have been discriminated against. And I was working as a board of directors for them for like a year and a half. Towards the end of this year, we decided that we were going to like split the organization up. So we decided to go ahead and just disband it, only because we were having a couple of different.
The
Yeah,
organization.
but it is with and for good reason, because we were having a couple of concerns that seemed like it was not being able to be fixed in the way that we were doing it. So we decided that we would disband it and come back in a different way, and also kind of like give it a facelift. And there was no way to give it a facelift while doing what we were doing. So we just had to make that executive decision. It was really hard. A lot of people in our community really enjoys the resources that we provide. So I wanted to be able to make sure that as we go forward, it felt like we were doing something that was going to bring justice and not feel like we were just doing stuff just to stay, relevant. So that's pretty much what that was. But aside from that, I have not worked a 9 to 5 job in a while, only because I was telling myself that I wanted to give myself as much time as possible to be able to focus on my career. There are so many different things that I do, and I feel like I get asked a lot of times to do things very much last minute, right? So maybe a week or two before. If I was working that job, I felt like it was like, okay, I would probably have to turn it down because I would be working at blah, 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 blah. Between singing or hosting or acting or public speaking or something of that nature, there's always something that comes up. So the thought pattern was like, I need to be flexible and fluid. Spirit has brought to my attention that everything that is designed for me will orchestrate for me just as it is. I have no fear in the idea of doing everything I need to do and everything that I want to do. And for a long time, I felt like I had to choose. So when I'm listening to you tell me about how you made a decision of like, I want to work a 9 to 5, but I'm still going full head deep into my motherfucking career, absolutely. Because until you become to the real place of financial free that you really want to be, everything is necessary, and I'm here for it. And the track and trend that you are on, is fucking phenomenal. So I feel
This ain't about affirming me. We the people want to know the tea. The question is, are you working a 9 to 5 right now?
at this current moment, no.
I live for that because my question for you, what the real tea I want to know, digging into your business. Are you able to sustain? Do you feel comfortable right now? Not without.
I do because okay, so this is how it works for me. I get paid in lump sums, right? Everything I do is paid in lump sums. I work with different kind of deals. Sometimes I even have gotten reached out by brands to work in certain formats. But when you are working for yourself or by yourself, you're working with an income that people are giving to you, and you are having to accumulate your own income outside of that. Most people don't realize that when you are somebody who is an influencer or somebody who does this on the internet, you are taking what your gifts are and then monopolizing. That's why you see a lot of people start businesses and brands because they're trying to curate coin. It is very rare that you can make sustainable living off of the platforms alone. So with that being said, I was in my head wondering, well, what does that look like? In spirit, one day I remember I think I was like trying to pay my rent, and I was like, oh my God, like I really want to go out to eat and like spoil myself. And I really was like debating if I wanted to take some of my rent money to pay for this instead of like this. And Spirit was like, you are so fucking talented. There is no way in the motherfucking world you should ever not have enough money. And Spirit just kept saying that to me. Spirit was like, you can do this, 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 and this. Why do you not have money right now? And I was like, damn, there is no reason. To be quite honest with you, there was no reason. So with that being said, I kind of pulled my big girl panties on and I decided that I was going to put myself in every position possible. The fear that I had of somebody not wanting to work with me or me not being good enough had kept me real small. Everybody would say, you are so gifted. You should be doing this. You could do
Even
these
since
makeup.
the
You should
last
do this.
time, even since the last time we spoke, that's been a fear that you've been dealing with.
Yeah.
And see, me, it's the complete opposite. Like it's like I feel like, bitch, I'm A1, and the people who don't want to work with me, I completely understand why.
You're so
But
funny.
I also have to give you a shout out before I forget. I want to give you a shout out. You have given me some of the best advice that I have gotten as a content creator thus far. Behind the scenes, me and Rio had a talk, and I won't go into detail because that was a private conversation. But the ultimate lesson that I got from you in that conversation was that I didn't have to try so hard. That I could just be myself, that I could just come online and essentially I could just come online and talk about whatever I wanted and just me being me. It wasn't going to read like average. I was so, at that time when we had the conversation, I was still trying to figure out my direction as a TikToker because I had got discovered off of extreme content. So I was trying to figure out like how to one up myself, how to make it bigger, how to be viral again. And you helped me realize like, girl, you're an artist. This ain't new to you. Like, girl, just be yourself. Your people will come.
Yes, I think that you are so phenomenal at knowing how to create enlightenment out of controversy. And I think that it is genuinely a fucking gift. Most people don't know how to do it. They take chaos and then they breed it and then they like just expand upon it. You take chaos in a curated message and you say, I'm going to show you exactly. I'm gonna read you, I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna coddle you at the same time and show you exactly how to be a better human by fucking giving it to you. I'm gonna fucking read you for filth. I'm going to fucking let you have it. I'm gonna be no filter with it because that is the honest to God truth, what people need. You are a breath of fresh air in this world, right? So I think the reason, and listen, I know you hate this, but like listen, like all the flowers. So let me finish. I want to literally just tell you the reason why I think that it is important when I had that conversation with you to understand what direction you were about to head into to was because I don't think that you understood how big your next step is supposed to be. I think you knew it was coming, you knew how big it is, but I don't think you knew what exactly how expanded it's designed to be. You are designed to be on television screens, syndicated talk shows. You are designed to be on radio shows. You are designed to be on red carpets. You are designed to be somebody who is a voice for many. And in that moment, as you grow, evolution is a part of that process. So you do pull people because you're so raw, you're so real, but you also are meeting new people who want to hear you too. And I don't think that you have to curate your voice to change it, but I do know that as you evolve, you are evolving, adding more people to your pot. So when you're adding more people to your pot, you're saying, okay, here, I want you to hear this information too. To be a great communicator is to know how to change your message based off of whom you're talking to and knowing how to give the message to each person, because you are so gifted with your words. I think it is natural that you have this enthusiastic charisma that makes people feel so good around you. I get so excited when I talk to you because you genuinely are a good soul. It also helps to know that you are a Virgo. That's why I bring it up every time, because Virgos are naturally good people.
I
Y'all
am.
can be
I am a
y'all can
bit.
be mean, y'all can be mean and critical, but y'all are extremely good people.
I am, and I was about to say that I'm shady. I am direct, but realistically, I am one of those people who genuinely will not do
Yeah,
you any harm if I allow you in.
yeah. I
Or
can feel that from
honestly,
you.
whether I allow you in or not, I'm the type of person that will give you my shirt off my back if
I can
necessary.
feel that from you. And I think that also it has helped. I wanted, okay. So I also, in my head, my thought pattern was, I want people to be able to see, and I was doing this for me too. People, we get so good at basically knowing what people want to see from us because that's the ones that gets the most views, the most like content, that we forget that we're a whole human. So we be like, oh no, they might not want to see this part. I mean, no, because people who really your fan, people who really like you, people who really your friend, they want to see every version of you. And I love that you are like so like giving your soft energy, you giving like your hard energy, you giving your like professional, like it is what it is energy, but you also giving your banshee girl energy. I love that you can just interchange, because that's when I was talking to you behind the scene, my first meeting you, you have such a your online persona is so intimidating for most the masses, right? You know that, right? Why you look like that? You know it to be true. Well, it
Yes,
was.
I have to have my guard up, honey. I'm a black, chubby, femme trans woman.
This is true. Well, you're still gorgeous in all formats. I love that you just broke that down in that way. What I'm trying to explain in that way of, I agree that society makes us have to be guarded. When I first started my social media, the first video that went real crazy was because I was like clapping back to a lady and saying that she looked like a man, right? And I immediately in my head thought like, oh, let me keep making this content. But the soul of me, the real like variations of me, I'm such a warm energy, and I know that about me. That is where my power really lies. I said, let me change the energy and shift this. And those who want to see me will see me. So when people come onto my page feels like it feels like you've put on rose colored glasses and like life is just like not even a problem. And that's how I live my real, every authentic day life. Like I live my life as if I live in a fantasy world. And when I say fantasy, I mean as in no one can tell me that I'm not fucking powerful. And I move in every space, especially in my career, like that, 24 fucking 7. When somebody think that they have the ability to tell me what the fuck is going on, I will look out, nod my head like this,
I'm gonna
and I
let you. I'm gonna let you know something real quick. But before you even get into your activist energy, before you even get into the tea, you already know. I want to know your tea. Don't try and distract these people with all your poetic, beautiful speaking. The truth in it is. But we want to know the tea. We
what's the
want to
tea?
know the tea because your life may have rose-colored glasses. But honey, you already know I'm the banshee kind. I'm the one who wakes up and says, this shit is crazy, but we gonna kiki about it today, honey. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now, I heard you won an award. Can you inform the people about that? Can you inform me about that?
Is it the MGM? Okay, so I won the MGM award. This actually was in 2017 that I won this award, but it's resurfacing because of the fact that I identify as non-binary, along with the compilation of me becoming I made history as the first Las Vegas mixed trans pride pageant holder. So because of that, it was like a compilation of that, and I became the first person in history and the first non-binary person to be awarded the MGM Grand Spirit of the Lion Award, which was awarded for my like leadership, dedication, and advocacy. It was not expected. Like I said, I didn't know. It was actually voted by a lot of my peers. I did an externship with them, and it was presented to me by the head of talent and development at MGM. And I think it was to me one of the first times where I felt validated in who I was. You get what I'm saying? Like I was still also trying to figure out myself. So to be in a place where motherfuckers is, thank you, I appreciate y'all. So to be at a place where somebody is seeing me like a short little frumpy, chunky black queer kid, and they over here like, you got it going on. It was the first time I had seen something like that. And it just set a blaze in me. And ever since then, life has just honestly been fucking life in, period. I want to say something though. I think that a lot of times when I don't want to have toxic positivity. I think that sometimes for some people who want to like be in a space with me and express their woes, they want me to kind of like understand, and I definitely will. I have just trained my mind to also believe like always the good shit, right? And the reason why it's not that I'm blind to the bad shit. The bad shit is always gonna be bad. It is what it is. But I have trained my mind to see the cup half full all the time. So like when I'm in a situation where something is happening,
I've always gotten the impression, and I don't know if you've heard this before, but to me, it's always been clear that you've always been very genuine, very real. But your coping mechanism to combat the crazy is you combat it with positivity. It's like, no, you got to come a little harder. Like, it's like depression, you got to come a little harder. Fear,
yes,
you got to come a little harder. But at the
yes,
same time, you still know that you're not perfect. You still know that you experience these things and that you are combating them. And it's not like they don't exist. Like in
yes,
times that we've had conversations, you're one of the people who I do reach out to when I'm going through it, because we have different defense mechanisms, like, or coping mechanisms. For me, my coping mechanism is humor. I make things funny to cope with them. I combat the response. I combat the trigger. And for you, you combat the emotion. And I think it's beautiful. I think people like both of us are needed.
absolutely. Absolutely. I think that is so necessary to have what you call this giving me like Malcolm X and fucking MLK. I do think that is necessary. And I think that everybody pulls different energy. I notice we also have like a lot of the same similar followers. And I think it's with great reason because they are extremely very much like they are alike, but at the same time very much different. You know what I'm saying? As far as like what we talk, like how we approach things, but what we discuss is always fulfilling to the understanding of like empowerment. So I agree. So basically, what I was trying to say to wrap it up with a pretty bow is that when people have interactions with me, I think that sometimes they cannot help but try to see me as like a machine at times, and I've had to disband that energy from people and redirect it to people, because when I talk to some people, they don't expect me to ever have an emotion, and I break it down to them that my goal is to always be in my happiest place. That is my personal goal. Is that always going to happen? Fuck no. And am I honest when it don't happen? Fuck yes. And do I cuss people out? Fuck yes. And am I a bitch sometimes? Absolutely. But the reality of it is that 90% of the time, I am genuinely content. I am genuinely okay. And I'm okay in chaos. I'm okay with when in the moment where I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is about to happen next. That's the beauty of being content. It's not about perfection. It's about being perfectly happy with where I am and where I'm going.
Hmm.
So that's just what I be trying to share. That's the tea I be trying to get to people.
I think a lot of people they think that when they see people like us both, because I think overall, even being somebody who lives with depression, I think a lot of other depressed people be like, she couldn't be battling the same depression I'm battling. You know what I mean? And it's just, I show it different, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. And I think for a lot of people, they assume that it has to be phony, because I smile a lot. Even when I'm upset, I have smiles for every emotion, right? I have a laugh for every feeling. I do, honey. I have, yeah, I have a penny wise laugh when it's time for people
You
to
do?
laugh.
I need to hear the Pennywise one.
Girl, it has to be genuine. We have to genuinely be in a place where it's time for me to,
What happened to your
when
Pennywise?
it's time for me to pull out the gat. Like, it got to be a situation where I'm like, girl, you better get under something stainless steel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the laugh. Is woo. It gets it's hot.
That's the I'm about to fucking cause some crazy hell laugh. Is
It
that what's
gives
happening?
Joker. Joker is one of my favorite movies because, like, that would probably be like me in the 70s unmedicated.
Unmedicated.
But not to stay there. But I think a lot of times people think because we don't always come online and talk about the bad. You know what I mean? I started making more content being vulnerable because people were complaining that they weren't seeing that side of me. And I think for a lot of people, they don't realize that depression and sadness and struggle and chaos looks different for everybody. And honestly, I don't know if, tell me if this is you or not. But for me, I feel like one of the reasons that I'm possibly meant to be in front of this camera, or that it works, me being in front of this camera, me being in front of the world, is because of the way that I cope with crazy and chaos and life. It's just, to other people, it's entertaining.
Yeah, you became a source. You've become a source of light for people. I definitely feel like it is the same for me. I think that a lot of people come with the intention of trying to pull your energy so they can mimic it because they want to know how are you able to face this energy and not become a victim to it. That's the similarity between you and I, is that we don't fall victim to chaos, but we can discuss it, we can see it, we can face it, we can dissect it, and we still are like, I'm still about to, like, even if I gotta cry or be upset, I'm still going to like smile at the end of the whole shebang, because what do that got to do with my joy? Joy is a personal decision. It is a choice. It is an executed action. And I know that joy can be hard to find for some people. And I think that that process looks different for each person. But for me, it looks like an executed action that I have to choose every day, because it would be so easy to be like sad. It would be so easy to be a victim. It would be so easy
It's
to
not
just let
it's
life
not
suck
just
me up.
easy. It's not just easy. Easy is too easy of a word. I think for a lot of people, it's comfortable. It's
Comfortable.
comfortable. It's
Comfortable.
comfortable. When naturally, as people, psychoanalysis, I'm getting ready to give y'all some free game. Naturally, as people, our minds process things in boxes and labels. I say that a lot in my live streams. Boxes, putting people in boxes and putting people in, labeling people won't go anywhere, right? That's not going to happen, because that's naturally how our brain processes things. Even people
Right.
who are neurodivergent, right?
Right.
We also process things based on association, based on what we see. People like me and you, for example, who grew up in struggle, who've had struggles in our lives, throughout our life, who didn't grow up rich. You know what I mean? I'm sure it was a lot of people around us, including family members, who showed their struggle different, and that struggle was more the way that they expressed themselves was more common. Like with men, for example, it's very common for men in our society to express their emotions with promiscuity and anger. it becomes comfortable because it's common, because it's something you started doing. You learned this potentially from your father, potentially from your friends, potentially from the TV, potentially from media. And I think when you come across people who diverge from the common, typical way of responding, of seeing life,
Hmm.
that translates into entertainment and that translates into activism
Hmm.
just because it's different,
Absolutely.
just because it's not common. But I think the ultimate goal, the bigger thing that I want people to realize is I'm not saying I want people to be like me. I'm not encouraging people to be like me. I'm encouraging people to see another perspective.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is literally the reason why I identify as non-binary fully, right? Non-binary is more than just gender identity for me, and I always say it is literally my entire thought process. I think that we have barred ourselves with this idea of the way society tells us we need to exist, and we live in this very binary ideology where we allow ourselves to only see things in a black and white format when everything is nuanced and nothing looks like that. And the reality is that it will never be able to perfectly fit a yes or no box ever. So when people see me, I just in living my see the thing is, yeah, sure I'm powerful when I'm having a speech and talking to people about blah blah blah. You know when I'm my most powerful, baby? When I'm walking in the grocery store and I'm looking at the fucking aisle where I'm picking up a fucking can of soup and the lady next to me with her fucking daughter is staring at me and I look over with a smile and say, "Oh my God, you are so beautiful." And I look back and I fucking smile and laugh and start doing a shimmy dance because I'm listening to fucking Lana Del Rey or who the fuck in my fucking ear. I am enjoying my life. The joy that I have is the most infecting tool that allows people to be able to see what it looks like to just exist in your fullness. The goal is not always to just educate somebody and be like, you need to know these details. You need to see it. You need to see me exist in happiness because that is where I promise you you're going to enjoy your life. And it is a trigger. You trigger people. You trigger people by being so honest. You trigger people by being so raw. And you invite people in too because they want to be a part of that. And the same thing happens for me. I trigger people just by existing. I walk out the street and I'm walking up to people and I'm not just simply entering the room or entering the chat. I'm entering the chat saying, "Hey everybody, what's up? What's the tea in China?"
And you and see, but and the only real difference between me and you, I think, is that you don't have to open your mouth for them to hear that. Well, with me, I do, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I love. We're both here for different reasons. You know what I mean? Me being me fitting contemporary standards, and you kicking the door open. You know, you breaking down the standards box. You know, I think we're both necessary. But baby, girl, you love diver. I'm gonna tell y'all something about this one over here. Everybody in the chat, I'm gonna tell y'all something about this one over here. This one over here, honey, will love to keep the talk off of them, but you know I ain't here for it.
You're so funny. It's just my nature. I promise you. I love gassing my motherfucking peoples up.
I heard I heard a little birdie told me that you have
I
been
know what you
having
about to fucking say. Keep okay, tell me. I know what it is.
a little birdie told me that you have been having some life changes in the dating department. What's going on? Because the last time we talked, you was dating and it was somebody and it was complicated and it was new and y'all was trying to figure things out and schedules. What's happening?
It's a mess. I think that the reality is you know, have you ever been in a relationship with someone that put every other relationship to shame? You'd be like, damn, I didn't know what quality looked like until I fucking met you. It's giving quality. I've arrived and I love it. It's a whole new world.
Oh,
So Yeah, come on, no, period. So I am genuinely happy. So I have been dating for the past 2 months. As I said in the last interview I was in, he is a trans man. And we already knew from my first interview that I identify as pansexual. So I have always had like a thorough understanding of like just beauty of people, period. But this experience, as deep as I've been into it, is new for me, right? I have definitely entertained and been with other trans men, but not to the degree that I am with this specific man. And he, oh my God. It's just like I don't even know how to explain the right words. He checks every single box. I don't even have a box, right? But he just like, if there was a box, he would check it. Like it's just he just makes me feel very free. Something so important to me in a relationship is feeling like I have the autonomy of myself. Period. I don't like when people get in relationships personally, and they and they start to like lose themselves because they become only the image of what the relationship is. That is something that I have always feared because I've watched so many of my friends do it. I'm like, damn, bitch, who are you? You ain't even your same self no more. You dickmatized or yeah, you pussymatized. Like you just don't have the capacity to be who you are. So it's very important to me to have autonomy, and he just gets it. He was like, I understand that you are building. He said, I understand that you are like making shit happen. He said that I am here to root you on, beside you, and with you, and behind you if I need to at times. And I was like, come here, get in this bed. You know what I'm saying? Like it's giving, and also like the sex. Like the sex.
Okay, what are your zodiac signs? Share with the people both of
Fuck
your
you,
zodiac
Drew.
signs.
You see what
Huh?
Drew said? Fuck you, Drew.
Ah,
I get that so many times. That and who is the other person? Rod Wave. Do you know who Wave is?
yes, I
had to
don't see
Google.
the right way
I had to
comparison.
Google him the first time I seen it. And I was like, "Got me good, gal. You got me good."
I don't see the right way comparison, but
I
according,
do. I seen it. I was like, I can see both of
I
them.
don't see
I was like,
that.
this is a little bit what's. And they also said some other wrestler. I can't think of his name. Yes, they be coming for the girl. They be coming for me. But anyways, yeah, like I said, the sex has been phenomenal. The way in which we talk, the way that we discuss. He's a Libra. I have never dated a Libra before, but the way we discuss and the way that
And you're a Virgo, right?
I'm a Scorpio.
Oh Lord.
Oh, Lord. Yes. We have been, what you call it? How was your birthday, by the way, before we continue on?
My birthday was cool. I'm going to post all the footage. I have too much footage. I decided I'm going to have to do it as a live stream on YouTube, and then slowly but surely share it everywhere else. It was a vibe. It's been a whole vibe. I threw myself into work after it, so I have not really had a chance to process it. I think I'm going to truly process it when I turn it into content. But it was definitely a vibe. Like it was a vibe involving like all of the things you could want on your birthday, for your birthday.
So
Yeah,
you were treated like the queen that you are, correct?
baby, baby. I gagged off of some. Yeah, it was
You know,
good.
birthdays for me never have that je ne sais quoi because it's so my birthday is a week before Thanksgiving and it'd be cold and I was in Flint for most of my birthdays, Flint, Michigan. So like it was always snowing. People broke as fuck because they were trying to save money for Turkey Day. So nobody ever wanted to do anything with me. So I got so used to just planning my own thing. So I have never had an energy of like other people kind of like going crazy for me on my birthday. I get a lot of love as far as like the words and stuff, but like action, like a birthday party or some shit. So like, I think that that's so nice that you were treated really, really nicely because you fucking deserve that shit. I love that you are seeing how celebrated you are.
It's crazy because it's like what I've learned to do because I can relate. My birthday falls on Labor Day, you know, the end of the summer. That tends to be everybody's last hurrah. People usually don't want to be focused on a birthday. So I have learned from a young age,
You had a lot of
pretty much
barbecue.
since the time I was born, even before I had control over it, my parents, like, it became a double thing. Like they associated whatever was going on with Labor Day would be for my party. Like for example, we do a family reunion every Labor Day weekend. So automatically, any type of party, kickback, anything I decide to do, everybody's already home. Everybody's already there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's the advantage. But also with the fact that my birthday is around the holiday time. As I've gotten older and experimented and done different things for my birthday, I also will sometimes plan around the whole holiday of it. I'll usually celebrate my birthday after my birthday. Like for me, it's like regardless of the day that I went around the sun again, um, you know, this is the time that I'm going to celebrate that day. This is the time period that
Absolutely.
I'm going to celebrate that day.
I genuinely listen, queen of self love, like legit a whole fucking almost 2 weeks is gonna be like because if nobody gonna celebrate me the way I promise you I'm gonna celebrate me the way I want to celebrate me. So I get that. And sometimes your birthday lands on a very awkward day like Wednesday or Tuesday or some shit. So like yeah, let me fucking celebrate it on a Saturday or da da da. I get that. You didn't have a lot of barbecues for your birthday, haven't you?
It's always barbecues in or around my birthday, so I just incorporate it. Last year, not this past birthday, but the year before that, 2022, I actually had my friends meet me at this barbecue place, this barbecue little daiquiri spot, little hole in the wall spot they had never even noticed or realized. They gags, bomb food, bomb drinks,
They
cheese.
have the best food at hole in the wall places. Like I want to, if I see like a cockroach like on the goddamn floor, I know that the food
It's
about to be
not. It's
fixed.
not. It's not giving that. It's not giving that kind of hole in the
Like
wall.
you like let me clarify.
It's DC hole in the wall. Anybody who knows DC is very gentrified now, so you know that they're not going for those things. It's given a suburban part of DC, like it's like around U Street, like around the gay area. It's a little barbecue place that serves daiquiris. I can't think of their name right now. They didn't sponsor me anyway. So
I fucking love that. Okay, so yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do this year for my birthday. I was actually just having a conversation, but I don't know. My man's birthday is actually on the
I
30th.
know
So
y'all birthdays is one right after the other.
one right after the other, which literally story of my life with my whole family. So I'm used to this. So we'll figure out what the fuck is gonna happen for sure. But something good is going to happen. That is my promise. But yes, outside of relationship land, in career land, I just been trying to find a lot of peace with myself. I had like a nervous breakdown a couple months ago. I actually stopped talking to a lot of family.
Blood
Yeah.
family, chosen family.
Yeah, like my mom, as in like my madre who lives in the same city as me. But we hadn't talked for not a year now, to be honest with you, and it's not because of me. I reached out to her with the asking if she wanted to do like counseling, and she was like, no. She said I decline. I was like, well, damn. So yeah,
How
that
long
just
ago?
you so
How
happen.
long ago was this conversation about the council?
Last Valentine's Day is when we stopped talking initially. So 2021 Valentine's Day, leading into this year, my family came down for Christmas, and we all hung out for the first time. I'm seeing her because we hadn't seen each other since then. We went to see that Whitney Houston movie, and it was pretty nice. Went to dinner, all of us. Da da da. I was like, okay, well, this might be an ushering time to see if we can like reconnect. I wrote her in January, like mid-January, I said, hey, I was just wondering, would you be interested in us doing counseling? I would pay for it and everything like that so we can reconnect and kind of just see what it's given. And she was like, I respectfully decline. She said, but I love you. And I was like, I love you too. And that's what it is. It hurt my feelings so bad. Because like I said, she's the only person that's in the city that's my blood relative. So I thought that
So
was kind of sad.
contradictory. That's so contradictory. No, I don't want to go to counseling to reconnect with you, but I love you. Like, girl, in what capacity do you love me?
Well, I think my mom has always been a very situational person. She's a Cancer, and she is really good at emotional manipulation. That's her superpower. And because of that, I got the heavy dosages of it since I'm the only one in this city of her kids. She has 5 children, and I'm the baby of them, and like I got all of that. And because of that, I definitely understood now what that looks like to deal with that, like to know how to maneuver around that. And she hated that I started to develop coping mechanisms that understood when it was becoming a toxic situation. And she hated it because she was used to being able to manipulate her kids to do whatever they want. And she don't really care much for our well-being. She more so cared about us being yes men.
Uh-huh. I can relate. My mother ain't a Cancer, but I've definitely discussed her openly on this app. I have made an agreement with her that I will not discuss her publicly anymore. But I will say we're in a lot better place now. I will
I
say
definitely
that I've been there. I remember when I first started. I had a therapist, my best therapist yet. My therapist first recommended for me to stop talking to my mother, and I did that, and I went through that process, and our relationship has gotten more and more healthy since. I will say that our relationship has gotten more and more healthy since. There was a period where I didn't talk to her, and also I got to the point where I genuinely didn't care. Like,
absolutely.
at least didn't care surface level. You know, I said my goodbyes and everything. You know what I mean? So I definitely know the process, and the biggest advice that I would give you is that if you're truly going to make this step, you have to mourn her for real, so that regardless of what happens in the future, whatever happens in the future is an extra. I view right now, I completely mourn the relationship of both of my biological parents, right? And so now, whatever positive comes out of the fact that they're still physically alive, in my mind, I've learned to process it more for my own health and my own mental health and my own sanity. I've learned to process it more like, like a fairy godmother thing, like a spiritual thing. Like, at this point, anything that comes, I don't expect anything out of those
Yeah,
relationships
I
at
agree.
all.
I
But
definitely
if anything comes out of it, then it's just the extra.
I definitely agree with the whole morning portion for sure because um I thought about it a while and I was like, if my mom just turned 60. So, you think of like, oh, age and I want to be able to have these moments, which is why I was doing it. But it didn't also feel organic. I'm really spiritual, right? So I lean on spirit to kind of like direct me in different ways of doing stuff. And spirit is telling me, Rio, you don't really want to do. You're doing this because you feel obligated to do this. You feel like this is something that you feel like you would feel bad if you didn't at least try. So it didn't even feel genuine to me. And I don't feel like I was being genuine, honestly, to be quite honest with you. It was the idea of like, we have a pattern. We stop, we talk, we stop, we talk, we stop, we talk. But that was a long time ago. We would do it very short spurts. I think to me, this was the first time where we both had this like revelational moment of like, I genuinely think we don't need to talk. And I think that we hold close people who are family just because they're family. They could be so toxic and harmful to us. And we be like, oh, they're family, they're blood. You can always forgive every person, but you got to be around every person just because you forgive them. I
Yeah.
can love you with the full intention of my whole body. I've had to end friendships that I have had for 12 years because spirit said, this is not a good friendship for you no more. And I cried writing soliloquies. I'm like, hey, I love you so much with the intention of my full heart. I think that you are an amazing soul. I want you to do what you call it, but I think that we do not need to connect anymore. I'm like fighting spirit having these conversations. Like, I don't want to do that. Avoiding conversations, and the inevitable actually comes to you and be like, no, you need to do it. And I do it. And every time I honor spirit, I allow myself to then exist in a space where I feel more and more free. It feels heavy at first because you don't ever want to release yourself from anything that you have had good memories with. But if the current does not match the last, then you got to honor that too. And we don't honor the present. We always hold on to people because of what it was. Are they matching that energy now? And are y'all, and it's okay if it fell off a little bit. Are you trying to get there? And then after you try to get there, you still see it's not working. Make a decision that actually is workable. Like, be realistic.
Yeah,
And
based off of what you're saying, where I'm at now in my relationship with both of my parents, it's like I've forgiven them. I've forgiven them to the point that I know that I could have a toxic relationships with them if I wanted to.
yeah,
Do you think it's just that generation? Do you think that generation of Negro people
it is
just was like, we're gonna throw
very.
parenting in the trash?
My dad is the same way though. My dad has 11 kids, right? And my dad lived around the corner from me for I want to say at least 17 years of my life. And I kind of went here how many times I would see him in a year. And he thought that him having kids was the equivalent of him doing his work in the world. And he would like take us to McDonald's once a year, and that was his like hurrah. So my dad basically ignored me. And when I was younger, and he caught me cross dressing on MySpace, he came to my house and he was like, my dad was like a pimp. He came to my house on his motorcycle, and I was coming from after school programs, and he was in my driveway, and he was like, Rio, I just seen this stuff on MySpace from your brother who showed me these videos of you talking about some fucking outfit of the day. I was burnt as fuck. I was over here on the
I
internet
remember. I
looking a
remember
hot
you
ass
told us
mess talking about some outfit of the day with a big ass laptop in my
you
hand.
told us that story before, and you tried to breeze past the part that I want to talk about this time, honey. Your daddy was a pimp.
Daddy was a pimp. My daddy was a pimp, and my daddy mindset was very much ignorant. It still is, really. So he was like, Rio, it just don't feel good to me that you know, are out here doing stuff like this, and also that you say that you like boys. Like, what the fuck is going on? He was like, I'm gonna get you. He said, I got something for you. I got one of my girls lined up for you. I got a hotel for you, and I want you to come over, and I want you to have sex. And if you don't like it, then I'll accept it. But I want you to at least try it. And I was so appalled because, sir, I have not fucking seen you in Apple what you call it, and you live around the corner, but you got the audacity to think that I'm about to fucking do this to make you feel comfortable with me because your pride is bruised by me. You weird ass Negro.
Child, child X offense. Not trying to commit child X assault, honey.
Yes.
Against your
Yes.
own child.
And
Lord,
then when I
it's
went in the house,
boozy.
my Christian mother, who just loves God so much. Oh God. And I went in the house and I was like, Mom, I was like, will you not believe? I said, Daddy's outside. They just asked me boom, 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 boom. And she looked at me and she was like, well, I don't think it's a bad idea. Possibly not Veronica, not queen of Christianity, suggesting that I go in and have sex for it gives me that was one of the reasons why Christianity as a whole really threw me for a fucking loop, because a lot of people only use it to their benefit, and they only manipulate it enough to where it works for them, and when they don't like something, they're willing to flex. That's
Oh,
weird.
wow. That's what they do, honey. They'll pull out that motherfucking Bible so quick. That's why in my head, I hear like the Law and Order sound whenever I talk to Christians about anything diverse, anything new age, as they call it. Like, you mean shit that was here since before the Bible, bitch. But anyway, when they pull out their Bible, I be hearing like boom bow in my head, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, you know the church girls always got big ass titties. You know they be hide. It's like they hide their Bible and their cleavage or something, honey. You know all the church girls gotta get their bras out of Ashley's store in Lane Bryant.
I literally feel like when people have this issue with Christianity, it feels to me so fake. It feels like a cult, to be honest with you. And it bugs the fuck out of me because when they like talk to you about it, they be like, oh, I just want to meet you with love and I want to make you feel good. And then they will literally spend their entire life trying to make you feel bad about
And
who you are.
it'd be like houseway. It'd be like
Okay.
house. It'd be like
You
houseway.
just got the answer.
How you trying to meet me with love, girl? You don't even love yourself,
Big
honey.
facts.
That's why you depending on this church. That's why you depending on this
Big facts.
Jesus,
Big facts.
this white Jesus, honey,
Big
honey.
facts.
Cause I keep telling y'all want to call him a black Jesus, but I keep telling y'all if y'all talking about that book, it's white.
Let me tell
Who
you
is
what really.
King James?
Let me tell you what
If
really took.
outside of the
What
ballroom
really.
scene, who is King James? Bitch, he's not a
Let me
black
tell you
man.
what really took my mama for a loop. I promise you. I think this is when she was like, I'm a little nervous about you now because we were having a conversation and I was trying to explain to her about the non-binary perspective because I've been teaching about it for a long time, and she was like, Rio, I see that you are genuinely becoming somebody that is a speaker on this. I would like for you to finally educate me. I said, oh, I have no problem. I said, but listen, I want to tell you this. If I talk to you about this, you got to come to me as somebody that's open as a student and not as my mom. I said, because you have a hard time hearing me for real because you want to perceive me as your child and not as somebody who has knowledge, and I don't want to waste my time if you're not going to be listening. And she stopped me because she was so pissed, and she was like, let me just make something very clear. You will never be on my level. You will never be me. You came out of me. I said, what the fuck is this? I said, wait, Kiki Palmer, good words, wrong scenario, because what the fuck do that got to do with anything?
The shade is from a psychoanalytical standpoint. She to me has already started seeing you from a perspective of outside of being her son. She's already started treating you like a film. She's already started treating you like her daughter. She sees you as competition. Women don't compete with their sons. Women compete with their daughters. Mothers compete with their daughters. And don't get offended by me saying that. It's natural. I keep telling y'all, y'all are human. Y'all are more human than y'all want to admit. It's okay. It's it's okay. It's all right.
Pep, pep, pep.
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.
Yeah.
Namaste. Mm-hmm.
But
I'm
how
so
do you
cool.
want to end this conversation? Bear not going to come up. Bear not going to come up on here now. I bet the thought Bear was going to come on here and give us some ballroom tea. But
Ooh.
how do you want
I
to end
want
this
to.
conversation?
I want to end this conversation with some enlightenment for all the people that's in the chat. Is that okay for y'all in the chat? I'm not gonna wait for you to respond. I'm gonna say yes. So this is what I want to say to you all. I, once again, am a short, little, frumpy, fat, queer kid. I fit no standard of beauty by society standards. But when I walk into a space, I feel powerful and beautiful and seen, and I feel over the top and over the moon. My entire goal in this lifetime is to make everybody feel the exact same way, to know that they have the ability to. I do not care if you are nervous. I do not care if you are shy. I don't care if you are scared. Do your best to be your best. Give it your all and do not be fucking afraid to make the mistake, because the only way to learn is through the mistake. And if you fuck it up once, the problem is, the good thing about it is the first time is only one time. So you'll do it with experience next time. But also, if you want to talk, I am always full of love and listening air and a good commenting voice. Please come to my page. I would love to see you. But until the flip side, have a beautiful rest of your day.
Yeah. Peace, love, and blessings is all I can say to back up with that. Peace, love, and blessings.
Peace, love, and blessings, baby. Bye, baby.
Yes, thank you, my good sis.